stress. Today, in our practical class, we will be focusing on stress inoculation training. And in the last class, we observed on what is stress. We identified what are the physical and emotional symptoms of stress. Today, we'll be exploring on what stress inoculation training is all about. When we talk about SIT, it is more a tailor made, flexible approach, a form of cognitive behavioral intervention. The main focus of stress inoculation training is preparing the clients or preparing an individual to face a stressors or to preparing themselves to become resistant to the effect of stressors on them. The concept of stress inoculation training or the approach of SIT was introduced by Donald Mickenbaum in 1980s. Since then, the application of SIT has been, in wide variety of areas. Let's explore on where or what is the objective or what are the goals of stress inoculation training. So we can categorize it into three different areas. One of the major goal is identifying the strength or identifying the coping skill, strengthening those coping skills as well as broadening the coping skills which an individual has. For example, I may have a coping skill of listening to music, going for a walk, practicing meditation. This is what I am identified. During the process of SIT, the therapist help the clients to add on to this list. And there are also situations where we may be using certain coping skill once in a while, or we have those coping ability, but we may not be practicing those coping skills. So the therapist also encourage an individual to strengthen or enhance the existing coping skills. The second goal of SIT is there are a lot of situations where an individual has their own barriers which prevent them from applying the skills which they have. For example, I may know how to be assertive, but I may not be using the skill of assertiveness because of the belief that I may not be able to apply. Or an individual may have lack of self confidence or low self esteem, which is preventing them from practicing or applying the coping skills which they already have. So this would be the second goal of stress inoculation training. Moving on to goal 3. It is very important for any individual to understand that they need to be aware of their coping skill. One, and they also need to understand that the application of coping skill in different situation varies. For example, relaxation before the exam may be effective, but on the day of examination, what are the things that I can do, or on the time at the moment when I am performing, what can I do to help me reduce my anxiety? So an individual or a client need to understand that coping skills need to be adjusted, or we need to moderate this coping skills based on when and where it has to be used, and also keeping in mind the timing, situation, people, and at what context we are going to use this coping skills. So these are the major goals of stress inoculation training. As we saw today, the meaning of stress inoculation training, why it has been developed, and three major goals of stress inoculation training. Thank you.